I got it.
Okay. And good evening.
Can I have you switch seats with me? Yeah.
And once again, good evening. Welcome to Panther Field here at Ohio Dominican University. Tonight it is the Columbus Eagles against the Panthers of Ohio Dominican. We ask you to please rise now for the playing of our national anthem.
Thank you. Hey. Okay, let me try to find her. She's in a ponytail in the field somewhere. Bob, if you just want to, I don't know what you want to do, but...
Match begins in 2 minutes.
There you go.
This is what they tweeted out about an hour ago if you're looking for the Eagles.
I've got ours. I needed theirs.
Ah, okay. I see.
All right.
Daniel said this will be
Should I
yes,
talk
you're
in
right.
the front, or does it matter where?
You can, basically, if you're just like anywhere between like
Okay.
that far away, you can tilt it down however
Maybe not.
however works best for you.
First time they had
Let's get going.
St. Ignatius shows up in this.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I can be one better than that.
With just weeks to go before the start of the club's 5th WPSL season, the Columbus Eagles are riding a wave of bright, sparkling skill, confidence, and belief, the type of foundation that seems to forecast real, lasting success. The club's forward momentum, which started last summer, continued through the winter months, as endless as they seemed here in Central Ohio, and brings us to today, here on a beautiful Sunday night at Ohio Dominican University, where the Eagles play the Panthers in the final preseason match of 2018. I'm Grant Burkhart, your commentator for this evening here on Eagle TV, and alongside me is former Eagle Kelly Mock, who you'll hear from very shortly. There's never been a more exciting time to be around Columbus Eagles FC. On the pitch, this year's squad is shaping up to be the best in club history. In the Eagles' 9-0 win at Ohio Wesleyan on April 7th, we learned that there are scoring threats all over this roster. Training sessions are crisp and faster than ever, and all 4 of the team's WPSL All-Stars, Danny Gunderson, Kelly De Niro, Lisa Nguyen-Sengzi, and Amber Kern, return for another go in 2018. Off the pitch, the club continues to gain traction in the Columbus area, signing new corporate partners and setting all sorts of social media and website bests, but nothing shows the club's rise better than the news that the Eagles sold a record number of season ticket memberships for 2018, and they did so more than 2 months before the WPSL season gets underway. That opener, by the way, is May 12th, here in Columbus against Ann Arbor. So things are looking way up for the Eagles in 2018, and now it's our pleasure as we get set for kickoff here at Ohio Dominican to introduce our second member of the broadcast team for this evening, former Eagle Kelly Mock. Hi, Kelly.
Hey, how are you?
Good. What are you looking forward to tonight?
This is my first time seeing the Eagles this season in live, so I'm excited to see how they play. I know they were really good last year, and they're obviously continuing to get better, so I'm excited to see how this game goes.
I think we all are. It was a big 2017 for the club in the 4th season in the WPSL. The team set records for wins and goals scored and fewest goals against. And now we'll get underway here against Ohio Dominican, a very familiar opponent for the Eagles. Last year, these two teams played to a scoreless draw in the second preseason match of that season. And they're underway here on the near side. It's Summer Borsier starting at left back. The midfielder number 24 for the Eagles is actually playing in the left back spot tonight. She's also an assistant coach here at Ohio Dominican, so she's playing a lot of her current players. And that's taken away by the Panthers. And Larissa Najjar is chasing the ball now, number 7 in the goal, who you'll be very familiar with this season. The Ohio University graduate. Is one of the most skillful and strongest players out there for the Eagles and is battling a bit of an ankle problem, but is going to give it a go tonight.
Okay.
Out wide, Jenna Fodor. That shot is blocked by Megan Minix, the starting center back for the Eagles. Taken away in the midfield, and there's Najjar on the ball for Columbus. And offside is called by the near side linesman. So a bit of a fast start for the Panthers right away, keeping the ball in Columbus's defensive
Offside
third.
Dominican.
We'll try to keep you as up to the minute as we can about the time that's left in the game, as the scoreboard situation here at the field isn't what we would hope. But we're excited that you're joining us here on Eagle TV for the first of our 5 live broadcasts this year. This one's not actually live, but we will have some as the WPSL season gets underway. In the center, that's Michaela Powers, who came to the team this year, the University of Wisconsin graduate. Is going to play the 6 for Daniel Seifert's Eagles. Borsier up front for Rachel McLeod. McLeod cuts inside. Has some space to switch it, and she does. Far side, it's Amber Kern. Kern working with Najjar. Kern has that one bounce off a defender and back to Larissa Najjar. And now it's Deidre Abu Ahmed. Swings it in for Lun Sengzi, and a tame one for the goalkeeper. So a few minutes in, Kelly, what do you think so far? It seems like it's a pretty open match. Teams are just kind of getting their bearings out there.
Yeah, they're finding feet. The Eagles are definitely finding feet and playing wide. Keeping possession and looking to switch the field every once in a while.
Another one there from Larissa Najjar. Switching it wide for Christy Zawalski, who cuts inside, swings it in. That one's going to go off a defender, and it will be a throw-in for the Eagles. You played with a bunch of these players, the current Eagles. Yeah. So you know the skill on display out there. Is there any particular player you're looking for today?
I do like how our outside backs, our wing backs, do get up the field, almost like midfielders.
Sure.
So Amber Kern does a great job of that. Like the style of play that she has out there for sure.
Najjar on the edge of the box. Taken away by Jenna Fodor. Swings it to Susan DeSidoro. And now Becca Gordon. Forward for Samantha Buck. Taken away. Cleared by Borsier, and now forward for Najjar. He pokes it up in the air, and that's a tame one for Shelby Schotten. Good pressure from Abu Ahmed, and that forces a goal kick. Those wide areas, Kelly, are near and dear to your heart. That's the position, in the position that you played, correct?
Yeah, we are getting back and pressuring a lot, which is able to get us to win the ball back. So
when you were playing for Mount Vernon Nazarene and for the Eagles, were you more of an attacking? What was your mindset when you were out there? Were you the more attacking?
I started as a outside mid and then got moved to that wing back position. So I was used to going forward. I love attacking towards the goal. So I do like to see us go forward a lot, but obviously keep possession when needed.
This is an Eagles team that at some points last year struggled to score. They kind of broke the floodgates open in the last home match of the season with a 4-2 win over Cincinnati at Mopfre Stadium, the home of Columbus Crew SC. But before that, they struggled a little bit to score goals. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. 9 in the first match of the season at Ohio Wesleyan. We've heard from many members of the team that they feel more confident going forward than ever, and the head coach of the Eagles now is Daniel Seifert, who's put in place a strong attacking system with, you don't really give up much at the back with his system as well. So
yeah, he's very possession-minded, wide play, switching, so it's a good style.
It seems to suit a lot of these Eagles players as well.
Yeah.
Rachel McLeod cuts inside. That one goes off a defender, and is McLeod going to get there before the goalkeeper? No. But you see the speed of the forward player, Rachel McLeod, the University of Toledo graduate, who made her Eagles debut last season. Came into the team pretty late in the season last year, made an impression right away, got a start at Montfrey Stadium before having to leave with a hamstring injury. She seems fully fit this year. The hamstring seems to be good, and she seems to be as strong as ever out there. DeCidoro forward. Megan Minix is there for Columbus, and we'll usher that one over the end line. We have a few sponsors to thank tonight for their support of Eagle TV. The first is Triple Digit Speed Pitch, the newest sponsor of Columbus Eagles FC and a trusted fundraising partner of schools and youth-based organizations all over Ohio. With soccer teams in mind, Triple Digit provides materials that are needed to promote proper fundraising for youth teams and organizations. They put the fun in fundraising, helping you organize and execute a great event, saving you time and energy that you wouldn't have to put into it normally. Triple Digit Speed Pitch is a proud supporter of Columbus Eagles FC and of Eagle TV, and we're thrilled to have them on board with us this year for a big 2018 for the Eagles. It's year 5 for a club that has been part of the WPSL since day 1 and gets stronger by the year. That one forward from the back line towards McLeod and squeaks past her. Also, Eagle TV is supported by Superkick Columbus, an indoor sport and fitness facility located in Lewis Center, Ohio, just north of Columbus, which includes more than 62,500 square feet of turf fields for use by kids and adults. The building also includes classrooms, a fitness and weight training center, and a 40-meter speed sprint track. McLeod on it now for the Eagles.
That's a good ball to the middle.
Sawalski with the overlapping run. She's going to get it back from Michaela Powers. Nonsengzi with a 2. Touch back to Sawalski. Cleared away, but only as far as Nonsengzi, who gives it a shot, and that one took a deflection and is scooped up before any further harm can be done. Just a final thanks to Superkick. Superkick employs a team of personal trainers for individualized sessions and hosts youth and adult soccer leagues throughout the year. Superkick Columbus is the official training home of Columbus Eagles FC, and the players and coaches rave about it. It's one of the reasons why this team is a month and a half or 2 months ahead in its training schedule from where it was last year. They have a place to practice. No matter what the weather, in an indoor facility at Superkick's been great for this team. And you can see it, Kelly. We were watching a practice I think last week or a couple weeks ago. It was so crisp and fast, and you practice how you play. So
right.
It's good for them to have that.
Yeah, I think every person on this team is very, very technical and has improved the game that way a lot.
And you can see the team kind of gaining steam into this contest tonight. In the first 5 minutes or so, where it played in their defensive half, and it seems like as they find their feet, they're getting forward a little bit more here.
Yeah.
That's a descending.
In the center for Ashley Gogolin, who's fouled.
What are we, 5 minutes in the airport, Thompson? Something like that.
We're about 10 minutes into the match tonight. 0-0 is the score between the Eagles and the Panthers of Ohio Dominican University. Minix to Lisa Nuensengzi. Minix continuing the run forward. And that's out for a corner.
No room for a center back to make.
As we mentioned, the Eagles have most of the 2017 roster back. And that kind of
Corner kick, Columbus.
That kind of rapport between the players can only be helpful. As Nuensengzi swings it in, cleared away. I think it'll be another corner, and it will. This Ohio Dominican program is no slouch either. Set a school record for wins this season. Made it to the final of the conference tournament before falling in a shootout. And that is off Najjar. This calls for handball, and it might have been. It was a close one. That one's chipped in from the back by Borsier and gobbled up by the goalkeeper. I believe that's Marissa Wiersbicki at the back. Nice job to keep possession by Gogolin in the midfield and keeps it with Powers, who turns it over. And the Panthers have bodies forward. Forward and intended for Susan DiSidoro, but that one was turned aside by Abu Ahmed. And now McLeod has it. 1-on-2. Cuts inside, and she's got Najjar charging. Also Nuensengzi on the near side. Lisa Nuensengzi takes a touch. Turns it on her left, and just wide.
Columbus Comics for the football team for a couple years. I wrote out ad copy for Mike Jackson to read through the PA, and he's like, "What's this? Like 3 ad copies? We don't have to wing it anymore." I bet he was just taking it from the program and just wing it. Like, "No, I wrote it all for you, no problem."
And they play this time of year too, right?
Yeah,
She didn't get tested much, but we can talk about the new Eagles goalkeeper for 2018, Jenna Villacres, who is the youngest player on this team and maybe the youngest player the team's ever had. She's 17. She's a Division I recruit going to Morehead State University. And she hasn't been tested much either here today, but in training sessions you can see how commanding she is in the back, moving around that back line. She's out there being very vocal right now, even though she's 50 yards from the play. And it's helpful to have as a backline to have a strong vocal goalkeeper like that.
Yeah, especially since she can see the whole field, and people are helping her out as well up front.
That chemistry between goalkeepers in the back four and really the whole team is as essential as any other relationships on the field. Would you say?
Yes, I think it's probably the most important, actually.
I know goalkeeper was an area of a bit of concern for this team over the offseason. Shannon Flower and Shawnee Kirchhoff, who did such a great job with the club last year, both moving on to other opportunities. And Daniel Seifert and the coaching staff were thinking, who are we gonna plug in to that spot? Step in the 17-year-old Jenna Villacres. So far, so good. No goals allowed here in the first 90 minutes of the season against Ohio Wesleyan, and then the first 15 or so odd minutes here at Ohio Dominican. On the far side, it's Amber Kern. Kern steps inside. She can hit it from there, touches it along to the center, cleared away. Megan Minix giving chase, and will get there first. And she'll play it all the way back to Jenna Villacres, who gets her first touch. Gogolin and Nuensengzi. Oh, good ball forward from McLeod, but the touch was a little bit heavy. She keeps it with the Eagles, though. Nuensengzi turns it onto her left, fires the shot, and that one's scooped up by Wiersbicki. already, I think, if you remember this game last year, Kelly, I think you played in the game against Ohio Dominican last year. There weren't many chances on either side.
No.
It was a game that was played a lot in the midfield. There wasn't much for either team in that one. And already we've had a few more shots than in that match, and we've only played 16 minutes.
Yeah. In 1 year, huge difference already.
It'll be interesting to see how the coaching staff for the Eagles plays it this year. A lot of times, as there are rolling substitutions in the WPSL here and in the friendlies, you'll see a lot of teams sub in 5 or 6 players at a time. The Eagles have elected in the past not to do that, but with such a strong roster, you wonder what the strategy will be this year. Rachel McLeod hounding the Panthers' defense and forces the throw. You see the speed of the Eagles forward there on display.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was either. It was a throw.
Yeah, I like how our outside backs are pushing up so much and our center mids up there so much. It gives that many more options, for open players.
I think everybody out there has an attacking mindset.
Right, yeah.
That we've heard a couple times in training. The coaching staff has been trying to tell them you don't have to go forward all the time. Only when it works for everybody, when it works for the team. But if everybody's in an attacking mindset, it's tough to reel that in sometimes. Near side, it's Becca Gordon for the home Panthers. Zawalski tracked back and got a deflection on that. And now the much-traveled Christy Zawalski, who played over abroad in Sweden and played in the W League before coming to Ohio and playing for Cincinnati, and now with Columbus. It's one of those players to watch for sure for the Eagles this season. So we'll have our first substitution. Going off is Megan Reenius. Coming on is Madeline Reinbold.
Substitution for Ohio Dominican, 29, Megan Reenius. Replaced by 12, Madeline Reinbold.
That one was kept in momentarily by Shelby Schotten, but Amber Kern got back nicely and kept that one from going any further. And now the Eagles have a chance to reset and pressure the ball properly, as they are wont to do. And Jenna Villacrest has to make her first stop of the game. On the shot from Schotten.
I didn't get her over 6. Baseball went 12 innings.
Pull that.
Hit a 2-out double, 12. Scored a guy for first, 1-5-4.
Our defense is very patient when we receive the ball, looking for that open player or someone in the middle.
Yeah, the composure, you could see it starting to develop last year. It was one of the better defenses the club has ever had, and it was the rock of the formation for sure. And you can see everybody's pretty patient back there.
Got her at, I think, 20 minutes to 6. I didn't realize Dominican was as close to Ohio State as it is.
Right.
Najjar, forward for Nguyen-Sengzi. Back to Najjar. McLeod is out wide to the right, and that's where she'll go. McLeod inside the area. Rachel McLeod on net. Crossed inside. Shots turned aside, and then Nguyen-Sengzi fires it wide. I think that was Zawalski, Christy Zawalski, who got in there first, and it was a good defensive play by one of the Panthers defenders. I couldn't tell the number, but a good defensive play to make sure that Zawalski didn't have an open net to fire in on. But you can see that speed for the Eagles right away, 20 minutes in.
And made it up on the fly.
There were a handful of plays like that last year where you could see the breakout speed and the attacking mindset of the Eagles. And a year later, it seems like they've figured it out. Now forward for Ohio Dominican. Oh, my goodness. What a great chip shot that was from, I believe that's Gabrielle Jones, 22 in the gray jerseys. Went for the chip on Villacrest and nearly had it.
Oh, it was great. My wife and I went. Yeah, it was awesome.
That was actually Samantha Buck, 25 in the gray, who got forward in between the Eagles defenders and went for the spectacular 20-yarder. Nearly found the net.
Substitution for Columbus. 24, Summer Borsier, replaced by 37.
So the Eagles make their first substitution. We'll get to that in just a second. Is here forward is Samantha Buck again. Closed down by Powers, tracking back from her defensive midfield spot, and then Powers gets it out of play for a throw. The substitution is Addison Preston, Westerville, Ohio native. Plays currently at Mount Vernon Nazarene University. She takes over that left back spot for Summer Borsier.
I believe Addie is one of the younger ones on the team. I actually coached her in high school, and I believe she's a freshman here at Mount Vernon now.
Yeah, she impressed in her first couple of training sessions with the Eagles when she could get to practice from being in school here in the spring.
Is the hard person over there, the new person just came down?
And now Zawalski on the near side. Also Aaron Weber into the game for Columbus. Replacing Larissa Najjar.
And Larissa Najjar replaced by 14, Aaron Weber.
Yeah, Addie Preston has has made quite the impression. In her first training session out there, I remember there were a couple on the coaching staff who didn't quite know her yet, and they said, "Who is that?" Because she was fast and aggressive and really made an impression right away.
Right, as she just yanks the girl down to the ground right now.
Ohio State, the Clippers at 9-1-2.
Okay. All right.
Taking Ohio State.
Yeah, I just had that pulled up right here.
You can call that stopping the break, maybe.
I had a game early this afternoon.
Strong header from Megan Minix might start a chance here for Columbus. Nuensengzi cuts it back, but that one is nicely taken away by Lindsay Wrench, and gives it right back to the Eagles, and now it's McLeod. Touched inside for Gogolin. Weber can't quite get there. Now Gogolin nicely shields that ball away from her, from the Panther on that side, and Megan Minix will have it here for Columbus. Jenna Fodor. Wide and headed away by Preston for Nuensengzi, who's got some space on the near side, and it's Christy Zawalski.
That game like it canceled? Yeah.
That one's turned aside, and it'll be an Eagles throw.
I was also showing for that one. Somebody got, Sirens. We played Eagles first on May 19th.
DeCidoro.
Both teams over there do your side of the schedule.
Becca Gordon.
That is bad. That good game.
And it looks like we have an injury in the center of the field. Is that Deidre Mohammed down, I believe?
Number 3.
Yeah.
They knocked Dee, didn't they?
No, put a fake on her. She wouldn't stop. And I think her knee gave out.
And I think Deidre's had some problems with that knee in the past, so we hope everything is okay. It was a strange one. The referee didn't blow the whistle to stop the play.
Yeah, he pointed as letting play on, but was stopping himself.
And the training staff from Mount Carmel is out there to tend to her. And Daniel Seifert will come off the bench to see if she's okay as well. Deidre Ahmed, last year was the starting left back for Columbus, has moved inside into that center back position, was set up one of the more famous goals for the Eagles last year in a 1-1 draw against Cleveland. It was her cross into the center that set up the Eagles' first goal of 2017. And we certainly hope she's okay down there on the 50-yard line here at Ohio Dominican.
I could see being used as an H-back, like Curtis Samuel, to kind of give the other team something to think about. Not that he's going to do it a lot,
But because he has a dual capability.
but he has a lot of good speed. And even if they wanted to throw a triple play,
You've played with Deidre in the past, Kelly. What can you say about her?
Yeah, she's definitely a very, very physical player. Doesn't back down, so it's interesting to see what happened here. Whether it was just like a tweak or stepped wrong or
Yeah. Well, she's up and on her feet. That's former Eagle Abby Skoda out there as well to keep an eye on her friend. And knees are always a sensitive area with athletes, for sure.
yes.
You see, I'm sure. I think if my memory is correct, a lot of the Eagles have had ACL surgeries. Leila Ramanche, who's one of the newest Eagles, has had 2 ACL surgeries, and you hope that's not what it is for Deidre. But whenever the knee is involved, you never really know.
Right.
But it's when I sit like
So we're about 27 minutes or so into this preseason friendly between the Eagles and Ohio Dominican.
right now, it feels like it's getting caught like something.
I think the meniscus isn't letting the knee slide the slide replacement.
Either it pops or there's a click, and then
And we wish Deidre Abu-Ahmed all the best for sure. And teams went over to their respective benches to give her some time, and then I think we will be back underway here shortly, which means we'll have a little bit of stoppage time here at the end of the first half, where we are still scoreless.
But like when you go up the stairs,
I
you hear the, you might not always go, yeah.
And we'll see who the Eagles decide to put on in Abu-Ahmed's place. And it's going to be Monique Hanaik, who was the starting center back for a lot of 2017 for the Eagles. Who will come on to replace Abu-Ahmed. She'll take her spot next to Megan Minix on the back line.
For Columbus 3, Deidre Abu-Ahmed, replaced by 29 Monique Hanaik.
Looks like it's going to be a drop ball here where the Eagles will take possession. And Jenna Villacris will get us started one more time.
Wings flying to the block. Bit of a bar. Next class at 8 o'clock.
Preston can't keep it in, neither can Zawalski, and it will be Panthers ball here on the near sideline. Pretty even contest so far. The Eagles have had a few good chances. The Panthers had one pretty good chance as well. Samantha Buck's chip shot went just over the bar. It's going to be an all-world goal if it went in. And a foul's called here on the near side. Lindsay Wrench fouling Christy Zawalski. And now Powers. Gogolin fights for it and gets it back. Wide for Kern. McLeod shields it nicely. She works her way inside. She's taking on all the defenders inside the box. Nguyen Sengzi gets there. Still with Lisa Nguyen Sengzi. And cleared away. Off the head of Gogolin. Minix has it. Plays it forward, and McLeod is onside. And that one is gobbled up by Marissa Wiersbicki, but McLeod was onside, one-on-one with the Ohio Dominican goalkeeper. But Wiersbicki keeps it 0-0.
It was a great ball played through to her, but a little bouncy. A little tough to control.
On the turf, the ball will bounce consistent but high.
Right. Everybody's kind of looking for a flag.
Nonsengzi forward. Out wide for Zawalski. That one's headed away. Now Preston steps in. Weber touches it back for a big shot from Powers, and that rocket is just wide from Michaela Powers. So there's talent all over the field for both teams, but we've seen more chances in this first half in the first 30 minutes than we saw all of this game last year. It seems like both teams are a little more active going forward. There's some more space in the midfield. And as you can see, it's kind of wide open down the flanks. Aaron Weber into the center. That one is kept with the Eagles because of Ashley Gogolin. Now Powers. She hits it with the left. That one bounces in on Weirs-Bicky and tamely for the Ohio Dominican goalkeeper.
I think all the girls are finally connecting, here in the ODU's half. I think at first we were playing like almost 1v1, through balls, and now we're actually finding feet up there and connecting to get to the goal.
The coaches talk a lot about link-up play, about taking less time on the ball and just making sure you get it to the next line. And you can see that. You can see that kind of working for the Eagles going forward. When it gets to Lisa Nonsengzi in the center, there seems to be a lot of space. It's just getting it to her, I would imagine.
Right, yeah.
32nd minute of our first half. Still scoreless between the Eagles and the Panthers.
The first joke is gone. I'm still waiting for the second.
Christy Zawalski, who's had tons of space here down the left side.
Pizza and wings are a godsend, buddy. No fool.
Out for Eagles throw, and Monique Hanike will have it. Monique is actually alongside being one of the starting or top center back choices. Monique took on some extra responsibility with the club. She's the director of clinics and camps for the Eagles. The club's always looking for youth teams to come visit and put on camps and clinics, and Monique takes care of that for the team. I think there was a practice where somebody said, does anybody want to be in charge of that? And Monique was like, I'll do it.
10's going off.
Substitution for Ohio Dominican. Lindsay Sullivan on. Becca Gordon off.
Replaced by 24, Lindsay Sullivan.
Chested down by Aaron Weber. And off of Aaron Weber last for a Panthers throw. Back to Monique for a second. That kind of spirit embodies what the club has become. Everybody's kind of bought into it. Everybody wants to be around. Everybody wants to be at every training session.
Offside.
And Zawalski's offside. Which, not that wasn't the case in the first 3 years, but there's more numbers now. Instead of a practice of 12 players, it's 24. And you can see the club grow. You played for the team 2016 and part of 2017, correct?
Right. Yeah.
And even in that time, you could feel the tide start to turn a little bit.
Yeah. There's a lot more bonding now. The team does a lot of stuff together, and before it was kind of like smaller groups, here and there.
The club held a marketing photo shoot at Land Grant Brewing downtown there in East Franklinton, and 15 or so players showed up to hang out with each other. It's a rare thing, I think, in some sporting circles to have a team that really genuinely likes each other. There's not really. It's not like you can feel any tension between any of the players. They get on the field and they're competitors, but but everybody kind of likes each other.
Yes.
Which is certainly a plus when you're building a team chemistry, when you're trying to grow a club like this.
Eagles, I don't think Joe never gave me any answers, so I'm like...
Christy Zawalski is the player who will be subbed off and onto the field for the first time. Lila Remanche as was written by ISN Online this week, the pride of Taverny, France. She was born in the suburb of Paris. Came to America when she was 16, played her college soccer in Tennessee and also at Auburn University, a branch campus of Auburn University. Was a standout there and is now a graduate assistant at Capital University here in Columbus. She's a speedy winger who, as you can imagine, pretty skillful on the ball as well.
Substitution for Columbus, 23, Christy Zwalski, replaced by 39, Lila Ramash.
Things have just slowed down a little bit out there, where not as many chances as we saw between maybe the 5th and 20th minute. But everybody's just trying to find their feet, trying to find the spaces.
I just see a post of powder on the website, so I already knew she was from France. I'd seen her, so I knew right away.
Remanche with her first touch. Looking wide for McLeod, who will get there and forces a corner.
I've been in this game long enough, 7 times out of 10, give me a name or an accent, I'll figure out where your parents came from.
37th minute of our first half. Still 0-0 between the Panthers and Eagles.
Corner kick, Columbus.
And it looks like Aaron Weber will swing this one in. Near post, the runner was Gogolin. She couldn't get there quite in time, and now Preston will keep it with the Eagles. Preston touches it back for Megan Minix. Deflected up in the air. That one caught the head of the Panther who was charging ahead. Looks like Madeline Reinbold maybe took that one, deflected off of her head. And a drop ball? A drop ball. That one's going to be out for an Eagles throw. Maybe I've been watching too much pro soccer from all over the world, but I haven't seen a drop ball in a long time.
Right, I did think that one was interesting when it clearly went out on
Yeah.
ODU there.
Michaela Powers with a long throw. Headed down. Weber slices it a bit. Now Gogolin. Gogolin finds Powers. Centers it. McLeod touched it. It's away for the Panthers. But right back to Aaron Weber. The Eagles swarmed all over that. And a nifty move by Powers to keep possession. Now Preston out wide. Preston swings it in. The header is through and just misses Rachel McLeod. Just misses Aaron Weber. It would have been offside anyway. But a strong cross. Addie Preston found some space, had some players forward, and swung it in. A couple substitutions here for the Panthers on Carissa Weekly, 19 in the gray, as well as, it looks like Abby Tam, 15 in the gray jersey. Listed as a defender, but looks like she's going to slide into a midfield role. Now McLeod is forward. Oh, and the first touch just got away from her a bit, but she had some space. And now Kern wins it back for Columbus. Gogolin for McLeod. McLeod on the left. McLeod trying to do it all herself. No foul as the Columbus forward went down near the edge of the box. A couple of the Eagles were calling for it, but it didn't seem like there was too much contact there.
Right.
And all the way back for Jenna Villacrez. 40 minutes gone here in the first half of the final preseason match of 2018. No score between the Eagles and Panthers. And ODU, where's Bicky? The keeper will just fire it out of play with Aaron Weber charging in on her. So far, 40 minutes in, your first impressions on your first time seeing this team in action this year?
Yeah, we started off pretty well. You know, like you said, it was kind of even. A lot of play in the middle of the field. Definitely picked it up. You know, these last maybe 5 minutes have been a little more, maybe not kickball, but not finding his feet as much.
Ramancha's shot is scooped up by Where's Bicky. Yeah, it does seem like everybody's getting stronger as the game is going on, and I think that benefits the Eagles. You can see they have the majority of the chances, or I should say the majority of the shots. Not many of them have been full scoring chances, but here in the midfield there is a ton of space. Ramanch.
We are finding that ball right down the middle, though, right in front of the goal. We just got to be able to turn or have a short pass back and then just have a quick shot.
The final bit of the link-up play sometimes is the hardest bit.
Yeah, and that's what we're missing right now. And get that, and we'll be good to go.
Minix cancels that one out and deflected out for Eagles throw. We'll have a couple of substitutions for the Eagles. Looks like Lisa Nguyen-Sengzi will take a seat for Alexa Turipko, and Aaron Weber off Rachel McLeod off, and Mary Seifert makes her first appearance of the evening.
With Alexa going in up top, we still keep our speed. She's got some speed with her as well.
I think just in watching training for the first 6 weeks or 8 weeks of the year, I think she's a player to watch. She's coming into her own.
For Columbus,
There she is right there on the ball, Turipko.
Into the lineup, replacing 14 Aaron Weber and 15 Rachel McLeod.
She gets her feet beneath her, gets some scoring chances. I think you're going to see a really good season from Alexa Turipko. It just feels like she's found some confidence with this team. She's found her place, and as an option off the bench, that's a real good option.
Yeah.
A good touch from Gogolin to get it forward for Seifert. Mary Seifert in the center of the pitch. Just a couple minutes to go here in the first half. And you can see as soon as that ball goes wide, numbers are surging forward for Columbus. Gogolin and
It was drizzly and windy, I remember. Yeah.
Seifert charging forward. Weber is fouled there and gets it restarted quickly for Kern.
And it was on a Saturday night.
Okay, it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
That one slides away from Powers, who nearly wins it back right away. Now the Panthers have numbers forward.
No.
Minix is out there covering. 4 Panthers forward. That's touched inside and cleared away nicely by Monique Hanaik, who slid over from her left side center back position to get there in time. And now Columbus has some numbers forward. Weber slides it through for Turipko, and it's just going to be too strong as Wiersbicki will clear that one out of play. Weber. Gathered in the back by the Panthers. Powers missed it. And now 4 gray jerseys forward. Ohio Dominican surging. Is that Abby Tam Swings it to the center, cleared away by Powers, tracking back from that defensive midfield position to be the 5th defender back there, and the Eagles are back in good formation defensively. It's one of the things the club hasn't gotten a chance to work on too much since the weather's been cold, is the full 11v11. Swing into the center, and that is just wide. Of Sierra Crosby, I believe. It was maybe just a step short. Yeah, 17 in gray, Sierra Crosby. Was bearing down on Jenna Villacrest, but was just a step slow of that great cross-in intended for her in the center. Hanaik. Remash for Minix. And now Kern. Weber turns and loses it. The Eagles have to be careful here. They're going to get into a running match. And ODU looks dangerous going forward on that break. A good step in by Minix to keep it from going any farther. And now onside is Alexa Cheripko. 3-on-2 if she can hurry. Cheripko crosses it into the center, headed up into the air, and grabbed by Wierzbicki, intended for Remash. And an odd 3-on-2 rush. Turns out to be a tame one, but a good one for Columbus. You can see the space out there and the speed of the Eagles going forward, even without the starting forwards on the pitch. Powers. Remash. Back from Michaela Powers. She has space and she can hit it from there. Powers. Forced to turn it inside, looking for Cheripko, but the end of half number one.
Halftime score, Ohio Dominican.
It's 0-0 between the Panthers and Eagles.
Scoreless.
Thoughts after a first half of play?
We're definitely getting there. I think we're building our way up, keeping shots on goal and working our way up through the midfield. Like I said before, just getting up there and finding those quick shots to maybe have the goalkeeper caught off guard or something.
That final bit,
Right.
the
Yeah,
final
right.
bit of quality.
The hardest part.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
The hardest part. That's why it's a game that's not always like 9-8 in the scoreline. It's a lot of times it's difficult to score in this game. So we will take a break. Be back for the second half in about 15 minutes.
So I do Monday on Friday.